You type a perfect 200-word prompt. You check every parameter. You hit generate.
And you just pray to the algorithm.
You really do. You get a flawless face. The cinematic lighting is absolutely incredible. But the background is this accidental sci-fi parking lot. And the earrings, they look like melting toothpaste.
It's the universal 2026 AI slot machine. We've all been sitting at that casino.
Yeah, and you change one single word just to fix the background.
Right.
You hit generate again. Now the parking lot is a beautiful cafe. But the model suddenly has 6 fingers and a totally different jacket.
The chaos is just exhausting. I mean, at a certain point, it doesn't scale.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're looking through a stack of technical breakdowns today. Creator case studies, engineering logs from early 2026.
It's a lot of data.
It is. And our mission today is to pull the definitive protocol out of all that noise. We're dismantling the chaos of single-prompt AI generation. We're exploring node-based workflows.
It's a complete paradigm shift. We're moving from gambling to engineering.
We're turning AI image generation from a frustrating lottery into a predictable, high-speed assembly line.
Yeah.
So let's unpack the core idea here. Why is the old way fundamentally broken?
Well, it really comes down to the architecture of the single mega prompt.
Okay.
When you type one massive paragraph, you're forcing a single AI model to act as your art director.
And your stylist?
And your lighting assistant. And your editor. All at exactly the same time.
It's just too much cognitive load for one system.
Exactly. It makes the output entirely dependent on luck. The underlying math just gets muddy. Think of a node workflow instead like a high-end professional kitchen.
Okay, a professional kitchen. I like that.
So a node is just a single block of instructions in a visual system.
Right.
In a real kitchen, you don't have one chef doing everything at once on a single cutting board. You have dedicated prep stations.
One station chops the vegetables.
Exactly. Another station reduces the sauce. Another handles the plating.
They divide the labor to maintain absolute quality control.
Yes. And here's the crucial part. If the sauce breaks, you just remake the sauce.
You don't throw out the perfectly cooked steak.
Right. You don't start the entire meal over from scratch.
I have to admit something here.
Oh, boy.
I still wrestle with prompt drift myself.
Yeah.
Especially when I try to do too much at once. I'll tweak a lighting instruction, and suddenly my subject's hair color completely changes. It drives me crazy.
We all do. It's just the nature of latent space, and that's why this shift matters so much in 2026.
The landscape of tools has changed dramatically.
Radically. Models are highly specialized now.
They really are. Like Nano Banana Pro is the absolute best for text in image and graphic layout.
Right, but ChatGPT Image 1.5 is totally unmatched for face consistency and sheer rendering speed.
And then Stable Diffusion, running through ComfyUI, gives you that incredibly deep, granular control over every pixel.
Because the ecosystem is so specialized now, speed and repeatability are the new bottlenecks.
It's not about the cost of generation anymore.
No, not at all. You need a modular system, one that dynamically uses the right specialized tool for each specific microtask.
So let me ask you this. Are we just overcomplicating things? I mean, why not just wait for one God model that finally does everything perfectly?
Well, it's a fundamental math problem. Specialized routing mathematically yields better control than relying on luck.
Even with a master model.
Even a brilliant master model averages out complex, competing requests. Breaking things into small, specialized steps guarantees precision every single time.
So we divide the labor to conquer the randomness. Exactly. Let's move to the building blocks. We know why we need a kitchen. Let's look at the specific appliances we're installing.
The appliances are the nodes themselves. First up, you have your prompt nodes.
This is where you actively break that old master prompt into separate, isolated blocks.
Precisely. You don't write one massive paragraph anymore. You create a base node just for the core subject, then a separate face node, a hair node, a clothing node, accessories, environment.
You're isolating the variables. It's kind of like the scientific method for creativity.
Yes. And once you have those, you introduce model nodes.
Okay.
This is where the magic really starts. You can send the exact same base prompt to multiple distinct engines simultaneously.
You get to compare their interpretations side by side.
Right. You might pipe the base subject prompt into Nano Banana Pro and ChatGPT Image 1.5 at the exact same moment.
To see which engine handles your specific concept better.
Yeah, exactly.
But even with different models, text is still just text. Which brings us to reference inputs. Text descriptions are notoriously vague.
They leave way too much room for interpretation.
Right.
The rule of thumb for reference nodes is very strict. If you're doing products, you need multiple angles. Front, side, top, down.
And for rendering human faces.
Clean, filterless, straight-on photos, no dramatic lighting. Good, flat visual references reduce surprises later in the pipeline.
So if we have our subjects locked, how do we scale? That brings us to array and list nodes. This feels like the ultimate productivity unlock.
Oh, it absolutely is. An array node lets you test multiple variations automatically.
Okay.
Instead of sitting there making emotional one-at-a-time rendering decisions, you load an array. You test 5 different outfits instantly.
Or 5 different atmospheric backgrounds.
Exactly. You set the logic, you run the batch, and you review the options calmly once they're all done.
Which naturally leads into router nodes. A router takes one base image and intelligently splits it into multiple downstream styling branches.
It directs the traffic flow.
It's like stacking Lego blocks of data. You build a solid base and branch out the variations from there.
That's a perfect way to look at it. And finally, at the end of the line, you have compositor and refinement nodes.
Right.
This is where you merge distinct elements together. You fix edges or even add motion paths.
So, regarding those reference images, how exactly do they prevent the AI from hallucinating weird, unexpected details?
They act as hard visual guardrails. Text alone leaves too much empty space in the algorithm. A reference image anchors the model's latent space.
So it forces it to stick to defined pixel patterns.
Exactly, instead of just guessing mathematically.
Visual anchors stop the AI from guessing. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay, we have all the pieces on the table. Let's actually build this assembly line, step by step.
Step 1 is choosing your environment. You really have 2 main paths in 2026, local or cloud.
Local generally means open source tools like ComfyUI.
Yes. Local gives you total uncensored control. It's completely free after the initial setup, but it demands serious hardware.
Right.
Specifically, it needs at least 12 gigabytes of VRAM.
So VRAM is the video memory needed by your graphics card for AI processing.
Right. And local execution also lets you run deeply custom LoRIs and checkpoints.
Let's clarify those terms quickly. A LoRi is a small file that teaches AI-specific new visual detail.
Exactly, like the exact stitching on a new sneaker or a specific employee's face.
And a checkpoint is a complete, pre-trained AI model you can run locally.
Spot on.
So local is incredibly powerful, but it's heavy. What about the cloud path?
Well, cloud workflows are much smoother. 0 hardware requirements. But every single generation costs you API credits.
The overarching rule here is practical. Pick the environment that removes friction for your team.
Exactly. Moving to steps 2 and 3. You start with a very brief base prompt. Do not overdescribe.
Keep it simple.
Very simple. Connect that prompt to multiple models.
You're auditioning them. You want to pick a strong foundation.
Yes. Compare the raw outputs, and critically, do not emotionally commit to the first tolerable jawline you see.
I have absolutely done that. You just get tired of re-rolling.
We all get impatient. But you got to compare 3 models objectively and pick the mathematically strongest starting point.
Steps 4 and 5. You take that foundation and split the concept into attribute nodes.
Right. Face, hair, clothing. Then you inject high-res, uncluttered references.
Garbage in means garbage out. You cannot use blurry Pinterest screenshots and expect commercial quality.
No. Steps 6 and 7 are where we implement the arrays and routers.
This is where you build out your variation logic.
Yeah. 5 distinct outfits. 3 lighting environments. You split them through a router to process everything in parallel.
Whoa. Imagine generating 48 polished, on-brand, mood board images in a single afternoon from one click.
Yeah.
That used to take a whole team a week.
It's wild, but it's entirely standard now. Agencies run these batches every single day.
Step 8 is the golden rule of node workflows. Patch only what broke.
If the generated image is 90% perfect, do not hit the regenerate button.
Right.
Feed that good image back into the system. Swap out just the bad piece.
If the earrings look like toothpaste, you isolate and fix the accessories node.
Exactly. You mask the problem area, keep the good, surgically fix the bad.
But wait, let me push back on step 8. Is it really faster to build and patch a node than just hit regenerate on a fast model?
It is. Because chasing a 100% perfect random generation can take hours of endless rerolls. Patching a single accessory takes seconds, and it guarantees you keep the exact face you already like.
Don't roll the dice again, just fix the broken part. We will be right back. Sponsor.
We're back. So the node system is built. The logic makes sense. Now let's talk about real-world triumphs and traps. How are professionals actually using this architecture to make money?
E-commerce pre-production is arguably the most massive use case right now.
It saves weeks of expensive agency exploration time.
Imagine a clothing brand needs 12 distinct mood directions for a fall launch.
Okay.
They used to shoot expensive test looks. Now they just build a custom node workflow.
They upload flat product photos as reference nodes. They use array nodes for the seasonal outfits and backgrounds.
Right, and they get 48 highly polished variations in a single afternoon.
Wow.
The ad agency still shoots the final human campaign, but the visual exploration is completely finalized.
That level of control naturally leads to creator brand consistency.
Ah, the famous cousin problem.
Right. The eternal complaint. Why does AI always make me look like my own slightly attractive cousin?
Without node structure, AI mathematically averages your face out.
A node workflow locks your specific face reference in an isolated part of the system.
It allows wild variation in facial expression or lighting, but the core identity stays mathematically locked.
Exactly. A/B testing digital ad variations is another massive win. Say a brand wants 20 different creatives for one hero product.
You combine product angles, background arrays, and you just batch generate the permutations.
You let the machine do the heavy lifting, and don't forget infographics at scale.
Right, keeping complex layouts completely stable while the core content changes dynamically. Nano Banana Pro is apparently perfect for this.
The layout logic lives securely in a reusable node. The typography, the margins, the spacing, it all stays perfectly aligned. Only the text itself updates.
So those are the triumphs. Let's talk about the traps. Where do beginners crash the car when they first try this?
The most common trap by far is sneaking mega prompts into a single text node.
It defeats the entire purpose of the architecture.
It completely ruins the division of labor. Another huge trap is skipping high-quality reference images or committing to a specific model way too early in the pipeline.
And a really big conceptual one, expecting AI to perfectly replace real, final commercial product photography.
Yeah, it's a tool for rapid ideation and pre-production. It's not supposed to be the final lens in the photo shoot.
Going back to the core philosophy, regenerating a whole image because of bad earrings is just absurd. It's like knocking down your entire house just because you don't like the new living room couch.
That is exactly what it is. You're destroying perfectly good architecture for a minor cosmetic flaw.
So going back to the creator consistency issue for a second, why is the looking like your cousin problem so uniquely hard for standard AI tools to solve?
Standard single prompt tools average out millions of different faces to build an image from scratch. They lose the micro details of your specific identity.
I see.
Node references force the model to prioritize your exact micro details over its broader general training.
Standard tools blur your identity. Nodes lock your exact face. Let's wrap this up by looking at the 2026 tool stack. What specific software are the pros opening on their desktops every morning?
In the cloud ecosystem, it's a powerful combination. Nano Banana Pro is the go-to for text rendering and infographics.
Plus ChatGPT Image 1.5.
Yes. They use 1.5 for its incredible face sensitivity and pure processing speed. The two engines complement each other perfectly in a routed workflow.
And for local execution.
ComfyUI remains the absolute gold standard. It has a steep learning curve, it's heavy, but it gives you that deep pixel-level experimentation.
What about motion? We're moving from stills to video more and more.
Google Flow is the undisputed standard there right now, specifically the VO 3.1 model. It extends complex stills into longer-form video beautifully, and it plugs right into these node structures.
I think there's a critical underlying insight here.
It's the biggest technological shift of 2026.
It really isn't about the raw models themselves anymore. A mid-tier model operating inside a meticulously designed node workflow will beat a top-tier model driven by a messy text prompt almost every single time.
Because structure consistently beats raw power. It's a truth in almost any engineering discipline, and now it applies to creative generation.
But considering how incredibly fast cloud tools are improving, will local setups like ComfyUI eventually be entirely replaced by the cloud?
Cloud workflows will dominate general commercial use, but local will always have an edge for absolute uncensored custom control. True professionals always want the ability to touch the raw mechanics.
Cloud is for convenience. Local is for absolute raw control.
Yeah.
We've covered a massive amount of ground today. Let's recap the big idea.
It's a fundamental structural shift in how we approach creative work.
We've officially moved from the era of emotional slot machine gambling to the era of the high-speed modular production line.
You're no longer arguing with a black box algorithm.
Right. By breaking complex creative requests into tiny, logically independent blocks, you gain total granular control over the final output. You fix what's broken. You systematically save what works.
It finally brings rigorous engineering principles into creative visual generation.
It makes the work repeatable. It makes it scalable, and it makes it far less frustrating.
It's simply how the professionals have to operate now to stay competitive.
I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder today. We see how flawlessly this modular philosophy works for AI, breaking complex, overwhelming tasks into small, easily quabbable nodes.
It saves time, money, and your own sanity.
So what other parts of your daily work or even your life could you modularize? Where else could you stop regenerating the whole picture every time one little thing goes wrong?
That's a really great question to walk away with.
Thank you for taking this deep dive with us. Out Tiro Music.